if you want to get in touch with us this morning, you can use the hashtag OTB AM. Are we going to show that picture? Is now the time to show that picture? Okay, we'll give you 2 seconds for that. In the meantime, we've been running a World Cup of best Dublin and Kerry players over the last 25 years. I don't know what the hell happened to voting yesterday, but it finished with an all-Kerry final. Do you know who's in it?
I know there was the Morris Fitz. The last thing I saw before I went to bed is Morris Fitz was killing Tomas O'Shea, I think.
So was it quarter final? Semi-final? Okay, that was quarter. Well, he won the whole way through to the final. So it's him versus Gooch. No room for Dermot Connolly in that. So I think is just shocking. But anyway.
Yeah.
Forwards always have an edge in that.
They do. Don't they?
Inside forwards.
Yeah.
Who are you going to vote for?
Who would I vote for?
You've got 5 minutes left because we're closing the polls. So. It's
a tough one.
Come on, vote. Who are you voting for?
I missed Morris Fitz. He would have been just before. Probably I start watching, so I'd probably go with Gooch, but that's more of what I'm after seeing.
Yeah, I saw so much of Gooch in training too. I didn't see the Morris in training was supposed to be ridiculous. Some of the stuff that he'd do would have been, I suppose, what I witnessed with Cullen. Cullen would do some stuff in training where you'd kind of be talking about it on the way into the dressing room with a random player walking in. Just
what
see
kind
that
of stuff? Like
flicks, and he did. The time he did it actually once in a game. Against Meath, I think, in the semi-final, where he was kind of on the ground and he picked it up with his feet and into his hands, and he was doing stuff like that. And I remember before the 2014 final, when he was coming back from the cruise ship, when he was kind of supposed to be gone for like a year and 14, 16 months, the surgeon was telling him, and 6.5, 7 months later he's training with us and he's floating around, and there's nobody really knows what's going on with him, and he wouldn't tell you because he's an entrant. You can't figure him out really, and he tagged out for the semi-final replay in the Gaelic grounds, which was a good boost for us. We still didn't think he'd play, but then we were having a trial game before the final against Donaghy, the last trial game, the Saturday before the final, and he kind of came on for like 20 minutes, and he'd a pass from outside the scoreboard in Killarney. He was out on the terrace side and got a ball and did a little swivel, and Darren O'Sullivan had peeled back door, and he just put this outside of the boot pass that literally took 4 or 5 defenders out of it. Darren caught it and just rolled it into the net, and it was kind of like, okay, is there actually... Yeah, there's time. There's hold on a minute. We may need something like that against this Donaghy team on Sunday. So, he did stuff in training, which was crazy. So he'd probably get my vote.
Did he make the matchday squad for the final? So if
he was number 27 again, he was. Yeah, I think they kind of kept it pretty much the same. But there was something done where he was kind of like eligible to come on. I don't know what way they did that.
They were going to break the rules if they needed to.
That we were under understanding in a way that he was, and I think he was ready to, like if needed.
Emergency.
If needed be, because he would have been some lift to the Kerry fans if that was us a point down with 5 minutes to go. He would have been some lift.
Dara Shea's column this week was talking about the start of the All-Ireland final and how you need to kind of lay down markers and you need to push the line as far as you can go, and you might be able to get away with some stuff in finals or in big games like this that you're not usually able to get away from. And this picture cropped up on our feed this week. This is what are you doing here, Kieran?
Oh man, I just popped my groin literally 2 minutes, about a minute before that, and I was going off. So I was trying to get off the pitch. So Kieran Kilkenny came running at me, and he sidestepped me, and I kind of was just trying to stop him. I was goosed. My race was run. I was gutted actually, because I'd hurt the groin, and I had this thing in my groin where sometimes I just feel a little pop, and it'd take like 8 or 9 days for it to go away before I could kick a ball again. And
hernia, basically a mini hernia.
Yeah, it happened me before the Kildare quarter final in
Croker, the one you
in
scored
15
7.
15 when I was captain. In the kick round and training, the last drills, going through on goals and pull the leg back to let one go, a rifled effort as usual, and I just felt something going and realised pretty quickly that I couldn't kick the ball after that, and I had to pull out of the squad for that Kildare game. And
luckily they didn't play well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there were 7 goals in. I was sitting there kind of going, Jesus, what a game to miss. It would have been a good one to be out there. But yeah, just before that game, and I was very doubtful that I'd actually make that game. I went out to my nan's grave and I was even asking her for help. So it was almost desperate measures for me to get back. But I got back and I didn't kick a ball from the Tuesday night until the warm up before the game on Sunday. I didn't even risk it on the kick around on the Saturday night. And yeah, everything was going grand. I actually played a good first half and I was moving well enough around the place and sat down at half time, made a cardinal error and just
cool down,
and I was sucking air because we just gone 5 points up and it was kind of a hectic kind of first half, and you know we knew that there was going to be a big push in the second half by Dublin, and yeah, so I sat down and didn't really move until we got up to go, and made my first run early in the second half and felt the tightness happen, and then like 5 or 6 minutes later gone, and that was when I was trying to get off the pitch at that stage, and
right.
So yeah.
Could you just analyse the tackle technique for us a little bit, if we could stick that back up?
Yeah, I think if Joe Smith wants me to go to Japan, there's a few All Blacks could do with a bit of that treatment.
Is this what they call a forwards tackle? Is this?
It's very much a forwards tackle. It's
the lad on a Sunday morning that doesn't want to play a challenge match.
Yeah, it'd be good if I was coming from his side, the side I'm facing there, but I was actually on the other side when I tackled him, and kind of I jumped as he was going around me, so I kind of did a full kind of pirouette around him, but his facial expressions is good too. It's kind of like,
that's a brilliant photograph.
Get this fella off my back, please.
Yeah, that's it.
And I knew it. I knew my race was run, so it was time to get somebody in there that could actually move.
You need to get that framed, right?
No, I don't.
The paper. 7:47 on OTB AM. The papers this morning. Brian Kerr is on the back of many of the papers talking about a couple of emails that he received from Noel Mooney, and the headline on the Sun is like something from the Soviet era. Emails were just baffling. I asked him not to contact me again. Brian Kerr has revealed he has been offered a way back into the FAI, but he rejected it as off-the-wall stuff. Kerr was left unimpressed by emails from interim general manager Noel Mooney. I've had contact from Noel Mooney, who was seated about 3 rows back from me at a Pats game. Just need to go into the inside to get the rest of this. At the Europa League game, he said he was disappointed I wasn't going to the presentations that Niall Quinn and Kieran Lucid were making at Abbottstown on the following Saturday. I wasn't available. Then I got 2 emails from him that were just baffling. When I got the second one, I said, don't contact me anymore. He says they weren't appropriate, and then the details kind of came through, and I think one of the other papers has some more detail. He suggested I may have a role being a media watchdog in the future. It was bizarre. My reply was, I don't know what a media watchdog is, but it sounds like something from the Soviet era.
What is a media watchdog?
I guess it's like, I don't know. I mean,
watching what they're saying about Ireland, or that he has to put out stuff, or
like, you know, just be a voice of reason for us. I don't want to speculate about what Noel Mooney intended for.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, it's hard not to, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, what is a media watchdog? You know?
Yeah.
And then the other one, the Sun, they're having crack this morning. Warren Gatland, we can derail Ireland's World Cup. And I was like, holy shit, what's he talking about here? But actually, when you read the quotes, they're not. Well, so Warren Gatland's a genius. You have to bear that in mind every time you read his quotes, because he kind of says stuff in that quiet, soft-spoken, almost under his breath way. And it's a massive game for Ireland that will answer a lot of questions. That's why I'm excited. It's a challenge for us. This is professional sport, and we could put a massive dent in their confidence and derail them a little bit. It's like, they're my rival, and I'm going to kill them this weekend. I'm going to leave them, I'm going to lay rack and ruin to their World Cup hopes and make everybody doubt Schmidt and their players.
It's brilliant out of him. Like, it doesn't cost him anything in a pre-season warm-up game to just say it. Nobody remembers it by the time the tournament comes around, but now the Ireland there's a bit of needle there already just for.
Doug Schmidt will remember this forever.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure the Irish boys will have a bit more about them on Saturday.
Yeah, you do.
I think his players might feel the brunt of it. I think he'll get away with it fine, but you know.
Yeah, and sometimes you wonder if maybe he wanted his players to feel that.
Maybe so.
It's hard to know. What have you got for us?
The back of the Mirror today has Virgil van Dijk after winning the UEFA Men's Player of the Year, following a love-in between Ronaldo and Messi last night. It was a nice bit between the two of them actually, where Ronaldo is saying that hopefully they could be friends afterwards and they have a good relationship. But obviously, as a Liverpool fan, to see Virgil van Dijk winning that and Alisson winning the goalkeeper of the year, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, Alisson missing, I think, is one of the reasons why the defence is bad. Kenny Cunningham does not agree. He thinks they've just, and they're not bad. They're just not as good as they were last year yet.
Yeah, I think
It's very early though, isn't it?
I do think the confidence of having him behind you makes, like, you don't notice the line being as high because he's so good behind you.
I agree. I
think that's the main difference.
What did you make about Cantona? It was a bit of King Lear and a bit of French magic realism.
I saw a tweet this morning. Somebody said he's not far away from cutting his ear off. But yeah, it was interesting to say the least. The Times have Virgil van Dijk again, the winner. Nice picture of him there sitting next to two of the best of all times. And as Michael said, they probably want to be friends, but I think Messi, being a complete Barcelona boy, is slightly fearful of fans saying, is he friends with that guy from Madrid? And probably when they retire, you'll see their relationship blossom. And Walker, Kyle Walker, will be next by Gareth Southgate.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that he's dropped a Man City defender and opened the pathway for youth to seize its chance. So whether that's long term or not is, there could be a little injury behind that, I don't know, but that is something interesting to pick up on.
The next decade is going to be Conor Callaghan versus Clifford.
Yeah.
It's Messi versus Ronaldo.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's like the best marketing thing that's ever happened to the GA, and it's like accidental but brilliant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're that good.
Yeah, and they're that young. As in, they're only going to get better.
Yeah, and they're fully developed at 20 and 21, do you know what I mean? Whereas a lot of, when Gooch and all these fellas were coming through at 20, they were, we were all slips of lads at that age, but whereas these lads are...
They've been in the gym
since they're 15 in development programs, and it's...
The chances are for the next 10 years you'll be watching them. Like, you might watch maybe 6 All-Ireland finals or 7 All-Ireland finals between the two of them.
If Con doesn't give it up to go hurling, which he might do.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not when Jim Gavin's around.
And who knows how long that's going to last. The Herald, a shot in the arm. This is Desi Farrell's take on the early season form that Dublin weren't great in the league, and he reckons that might have been exactly what they needed. It's a young Kerry team. They'll be very, very strong in the future, but I just think this one has come a little bit too early for them. There was a concern over the dip in the league, but in hindsight, that could have been a blessing because it may have been the shot in the arm or the kick in the ass that they needed. And so he says the group have made whatever adjustments they needed to make, and they've done fantastically since. I don't think the league was a priority this year for Dublin. It was like, get everybody fit and well, and it's remarkable how much and how well they've managed to get to this point in the season where I don't think anybody, certainly that we know of, is carrying any serious injuries. Every year up to this point, somebody's been missing or injured or whatever, but it looks like this year they've got a full deck.
Yeah, I don't think they didn't need to focus on the league. I think it's a luxury that they have, that they know they're good enough to stay up in Division 1 while just coasting along and not putting too much pressure on anyone. Let them get through the club season and then really let them go at it from then on. I don't think you'd find out whether they have many injuries or not as well.
It's a fair point, yeah.
It's watertight at the moment.
Yeah, they have the stuff too in Tralee. They were kind of meandering through the game, and they got a man sent off. They were down 4 points. There was 8 minutes to go, and they said, "Let's go." And all of a sudden, they were level going into injury time, and it took Peter Crowley to go up and knock over a winner for Kerry. But it was just a little glimpse into when these fellas push the button. It's, they don't need to have 15 fellas. They can do it with 14. They can do it in the rain. They can do it in Tralee. It was, they brought on, the guys from the bench who are being kind of a small bit maligned, and I think unfairly so. I think it's I think we can't expect every time Kevin McManaman comes on that he's going to score 1-3, but I think every time he comes on, he's making all the right decisions. He's making all the right plays for his team at that time. They mightn't have been as spectacular as they once were, but I don't think that's needed anymore. I think Jim and Dublin are very confident in the guys they've coming on and are going to make all the right decisions for the team, which is what you need. You actually need that to win big games, not guys coming on trying to be heroes, taking shots and missing and giving other teams momentum. I think that day they brought on, I think Brogan, McManaman, Macaulay
In the league.
in the league game in Tralee. Like they were wheeling out players of the year. I think there was 4 players of the year. But I think Paul Flynn was brought on the same day too before he retired. So it was a bit of realization.
What else? What have you got?
On the back of the Guardian, it's a picture of the England ladies team and just the fact that Liverpool and City have gotten handy draws in the Champions League.
Yeah, Champions League draw. I mean, there's one good group.
Chelsea's group is
Who was in Chelsea?
Lille, Valencia, and Ajax.
Okay.
So that's probably the best group.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, maybe
2 hours for a Champions League draw is a bit excessive as well.
it is, isn't it? It's like.
Yeah, come on.
Look, I understand it's TV. It's cheap TV to make, really, and Messi and Ronaldo are in the crowd, so you're going to get massive audiences, and everybody wants to watch it. But like, yeah, I agree. Old. What have you got for us, the Star?
Yeah, I got the Star. Clucko's Army. We had John O'Leary in here with Off the Ball yesterday, and he's looking at Cluxton possibly being the next manager of Dublin. He strikes me as the perfect guy, and you've Gatland having a pop off of Ireland again. And obviously that story with Kieran Mooney is there as well, but interesting one.
Cluxton is the next manager.
He'd probably be perfect, wouldn't he? But he could play for another few years yet.
Yeah, what do you think? We were talking about this yesterday.
You can't read him, like, right?
It's completely his decision.
Yeah, it's completely his.
I mean, if they win on Sunday, he's captained them to 5 All-Ireland titles. Like,
Yeah.
Well, that was it.
It's pretty much his decision whether he wants to keep going.
It'd be perfect to go out in this, but then you're kind of, if you're him, you're kind of going, I'm off every summer, I can still do this, I like doing it, it doesn't really affect me. He doesn't seem to be a guy who suffers fools likely, he doesn't be around the place doing any media, so he can go about his business and just be in that Dublin bubble which he's very comfortable in.
Yeah, but he can also look at careers that are now stretching into the 40s of the greatest sportsmen and think, well, I could do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he can do the.
He doesn't seem to be slowing down. I mean, the kickouts are still as long as they are.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be any less.
No.
His reflexes haven't dropped at all. So like, a lot of goalkeepers do go, especially in soccer, we see it a lot. You see a lot of keepers who go to 38, 39, 40.
Yeah.
There's no reason why he couldn't do it in GA.
Yeah. All right. Are you done? That's the last one that you got. So I've got the Indo here. And O'Sullivan facing Axe in Gavin's final show of force. McMahon to miss out on Dub's starting role with Kingdom set to promote Captain White. So Cian O'Sullivan and Philly McMahon, says Michael Verney, looks set to be the ones left most disappointed when Gavin finalises his starting 15 for Sunday's date with Destiny against Kerry. Do we think this is right? Cian O'Sullivan not going to play and Philly McMahon not going to start?
Me and Michael were talking about it on matchups that if Kerry start Tommy Walsh, they're the 2 guys you probably want to pick him up, Philly Mack or Cian O'Sullivan. So it shows you the luxury Dublin have when they're leaving those 2 calibre players out.
There's an interesting subplot there though. Like, with the way the teams have gone into GA where you don't find out till pretty much an hour before. Like, let's say Dublin have put in their team and then Kerry start with Tommy Walsh and you have Davy Byrne, Michael Fitzsimons and Johnny Cooper in the full back line. Like, are they going making a change after 10 or 15 minutes to put someone in on Tommy? Maybe not. So, it's nearly a case of like, you had it in the golf last weekend with Rory and the other lad who were trying to put in their cards to see who'd get in first. So maybe you might be holding back your team to see what comes through the other door.
Yeah, it's mad. And do you make changes? Do you name a team and then make changes?
Yeah.
Dublin wouldn't be seen to do that. But that's why I think Kerry, and we'll talk about it later on.
Tommy's talking about Mayo starting Alan Dillon, who ran the show in the first half against Tyrone a couple of years ago, and then Mickey Hart was forced to make a change. That was obviously in between. That was unexpected out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think Tommy is a must start for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think he poses issues for them and who they're picking in the backs. And
doesn't that make sense too? From kickouts, he can roam out for kickouts on both kickouts, and then he can go back in. So it's like he's mobile.
Yeah.
Like everybody's always not that mobile. He's pretty mobile, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's very mobile, and he's 29, 30. He's fit as a fiddle. He played 5-6 years professional Aussie rules. Do you know what I mean? So he's got a great bank of fitness built up.
A huge amount of experience.
Huge, and he was the man of the match in the final in 09. So he's
one of that Kerry team who's really done it in an All-Ireland final. There's a lot of new lads there. He's the one who's been there before. He's been there for what, 3 finals? He's been there. He's part of it. 07 played 08 against Tyrone, and he was the man in 09 and then went to Australia.
So there's another aspect to the Gatland story as well on the back of the Indo this morning. It's about Ireland being an ageing team. Good man, Gatland. I was surprised by the Ireland result. They're under an enormous amount of pressure back home with a lot of criticism, says Warren Gatland, who seems very au fait with what's going on in the Irish media. It's almost like he reads it every day. There are a lot of doubts in the coaches' minds about who their best players are. Some of their players are getting a bit older. Is it time to put some of the youngsters in? It's helpful, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like just giving some free, unsolicited advice to the Irish coaching team ahead of a game.
On the rugby as well, there's an interesting one in the Daily Mail. Felix Jones has moved to the Springboks.
Yeah.
Schmidt says that has admitted the move of Felix Jones to South Africa ahead of the World Cup is awkward, given he toured Japan as a part of Smith's backroom team 2 years ago. So he's got, Smith says here, described it as great knowledge of the Irish squad to go with all of that information to Rassie Erasmus. So that's Felix. I know Felix from his days at Munster. I met him a few times up there, and
seems like a great guy.
Oh, class. Yeah, he unfortunately for Munster he's gone, and he'll be a big plus to.
So you say unfortunately, right? Whatever that line from Oscar Wilde is, to lose one child, whatever, is unfortunate, to lose two seems like carelessness. It seems a little careless, given they know he's best mates with Rassie Erasmus, a little careless from the IRFU to allow this guy, just at the time of the World Cup, to go and join the coaching ticket of the team you're slated to meet in the quarterfinals. It seems a little careless. Doesn't it? Like, keep him on board for 6 months, get him in the Ireland setup for 6 months. Oh, come on, we'll...
Yeah.
No, off you go. We've had enough of you, Felix.
Yeah, he's supposed to be held in very high regard.
South Africa.
Yeah, he's supposed to be held by very high regard by the players in Munster and Ireland. So
yeah,
it's going to be. That won't be promising if we're playing South Africa in a big game. That you know that this guy knows. He probably knows set plays. Now they might have changed him since his time in South Africa,
much, you know?
but he'll know some of them.
Yeah, and in fairness, Rassie probably has the work done on that too. But like this is the best prepared, most no stone unturned coaching ticket of all time. And it's like, oh, we're just going to let that walk out of the building and go over there, and there's nothing we can do about it. And it's a bit awkward.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't imagine them being happy with it.
They've got to take some responsibility for that. So, right. A reminder, you can enter our brilliant competition with Dominic Smith, Expert Electrical, this morning. You can win a state-of-the-art Sony TV and home entertainment system worth $4,000. Just share the show and send us in your All-Ireland final prediction. You don't need to get the prediction right, because we're going to pick a winner before the end of the show today. It is 3 minutes past 8 this morning. I just haven't done the Irish Times for you yet. Some great stories on offtheball.com. Fenton will supersede what Brian Mullins has done. That was Charlie Redmond. It's going to be a game and a half. It's Paddy Cullen, who isn't writing off Kerry. I'm not writing off Kerry either. I think we're going to get into this in a couple of minutes' time. Colm Nally was brilliant on the show yesterday afternoon. He almost strikes me as the next manager. That's John O'Leary. Stephen Rochford expecting a huge performance from Carefree Kerry. I would go along with that one as well. The train journey that put Kerry 2009 back in the rails, that was brilliant. That's Sean O'Sullivan, right?
Yeah.
That was, he said in 2009 you were coming back
depressed after just getting over the line against Antrim in Tullamore.
And the draw gets made while you're on the train?
Yeah. It was
and suddenly everybody's like, yes, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Lads who weren't talking to each other suddenly,
no, there was no lads not talking to each other. It was just we'd been on the road a good bit that year.
A few of you had been out on the town as well?
A few of us had been out in the town, not me, but yeah, a few fellas had been out in the town. Which really, it was probably, there was more made of it because we were playing so bad. And we had the team, like we'd Ty Kennelly, we'd Galvin, Declan Sullivan,
not
Tommy
a bad
Walsh.
team. I mean, what the hell? What were you doing, getting nearly beaten by Antrim and Sligo?
We'd kind of injuries. I broke my metatarsal twice that year. Myself and Ty were both above in Santry. I remember us getting the train up, the two of us. Ty was after breaking the bone in his hand here, is it metacarpal or one of those, and I had the one in the foot, the metatarsal. We were like two sorry souls, and we were just trying. He was going to be back quicker than I was, but it was. We were just waiting for something in that game. We knew at that time you go from playing Sligo and Antrim, and no disrespect to them, but now you've Dublin and Croke Park and 82,000. It's an All-Ireland final out of nowhere, and you've a week's notice. We didn't have any time to think too much about it. You know, we had the team. Mike McCarthy was back in after a 3-year hiatus, and we were ready to go win the All-Ireland from there.
In the start of the Earwigs, that was a result of that. I didn't do the Irish Times, I'll do that one finally. All-Ireland referees come to terms with hostile new world. Interesting piece from Sean Moran talking about the life of a referee now and how high profile you've become, particularly in the age of social media. Griffin recalls being among Dublin's startled earwigs. That's, is it Tommy Griffin who's doing that interview? I think it probably is. And then there's a very young looking Declan O'Sullivan, just with his beautiful lithe running style. And proud old tradition of Kerry captaincy, nothing new for White. So Gavin White, is Gavin White going to start?
I think so.
Yeah, that's a lot of responsibility for a 22-year-old, isn't it? Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's grand.
He's actually the most. Yeah, he's the most solid. Yeah. He's the most solid young fella you come across. Yeah, he's a complete pro. Doesn't drink.
So no big deal being captain in Kerry. It's not treated the same way it is in other counties.
They're kind of bred like that in Crokes too, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, they know it well.
Yeah, they'll know.
And you're kind of expecting it if you're 18 or 19 years of age, it might come along because they've won so many.
They've won so many, and it's not like he's in there having to give rousing team speeches all the time. You know, you've got David Moran and Paul Gainey and all these fellas that have been
ceremonial. Let's go up and do the toss and.
There's a role for two, like, you know, but it differs from year to year. But he's certainly well able to lead and has the game to do that.
All right, 6 minutes past 8 this morning here on OTB AM. We're going to be back talking with a special All-Ireland final edition of Shot Clock after.